Chainsaw Man is special. If I could describe the series in a single word, the word would be unconventional. Among the many things that it does really well, one thing that stands out to me is how well the series uses its female cast of characters. Generally, female characters in shonen, especially works from Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, ends up playing more passive and supportive roles in their series. Most of the time, female characters are presented to the viewers as traditional caring women with a little quirky nature added to their personality to make them a bit more waifu material. A lot of the screen time that they have is frustratingly dedicated to simply just supporting the main character of the series. Not every battle shonen follows this formula, of course. There are exceptions, but on average, more importance is given to the male characters in the narrative, and there definitely is an imbalance in the way they write male and female characters. The way Chainsaw Man uses its female cast of characters is just great and really refreshing for a modern battle shonen. The female characters of Chainsaw Man actively showcases the ugly sides of women by presenting them with their own weird flaws and bad habits. The characters don't feel idealized at all, and because of how the series doesn't shy away from showing their ugly personalities, the characters feel more real. For example, Power is a very selfish, stingy, self centered person who doesn't even take a bath. Kobeni, on the other hand, is a struggler. She's a coward who betrays her own friends in order to survive. Even Makima, who's garnered a lot of sim fans, is straight up a manipulative groomer and a mass murderer. Chainsaw Man is a series that fully embraces the ugly sides of people. It's a series that shows hell on earth with these monsters and devils massacring people, but it's also a series that focuses almost equally on the ugly sides of humans as well. I just love that the flaws in men and women are presented equally here. Just like most standard shonens, the female characters here do serve as supportive figures for the protagonist, but it's very different here as well. The female characters not only have very expressive individual personalities, but most of the time they are the more assertive characters compared to the protagonist Denji. Denji often ends up feeling like the sidekick or a victim of the women in his life. His character arc moves in the background throughout the series, and they are indeed connected to the women in his life on a deeper level. But on the surface, the female characters here have a much bigger screen presence and are the more interesting characters compared to Denji. I find this to be an amazing feat for a Weekly Shonen Jump series to do. It embraces the standard tropes of the magazine while subverting and executing them in unique ways that Fujimoto has slowly become notorious for. Denji and Pa's relationship is a great way to show how well Fujimoto uses his female characters. Denji is a very sexually frustrated teenager with a lot of perverted moments in the series. I'm pretty sure that he's gonna get a lot of hate because of it when the anime adaptation finally comes out. But because of the way how Denji is, it would have been easy to make a romance bloom out between him and Power, who's kind of the main heroine of the series. But instead of that, Denji and Power have this very beautiful platonic love for each other that even we can feel envious to. The banter that they have with each other and how their friendship evolves is one of the best parts of Chainsaw Man. The way Denji realizes that affection and love towards women can come in different ways, and Power realizing that she can be friends with humans and genuinely care for them through Denji, is so well executed in such a short period of time. Every time I see a panel of Kobeni, I burst out laughing. She steals the show every panel she's on screen. She's kind of how I imagine Zenitsu to be if Zenitsu was actually funny. Through Kobeni, we see the more real side of humanity. Unlike other comic relief characters though, the bizarre and funny ways that she gets scared is so hilarious and refreshing, but at the same time it feels genuinely real and terrifying. Chainsaw Man also has its fair share of wonderful female antagonists. I feel like female antagonists rarely stand out in shonen. I definitely feel like there is a severe lack of good ones in shonen anime and manga. So I'm really pleased that Makima ended up being a fascinating character and a good antagonist for the series and the messages it wanted to tell. Her character writing aside, I think straight from the get go she had this intense presence to her. She had this elegance, but every moment of her elegance felt calculated. She was dominating every frame that she was in, giving us the right impression of her clear position of power. Even before we got to the reveal of who she truly is and what she wanted to do, people were already getting red flags from her constantly manipulating and grooming our teenage protagonist. We were always getting this constant eerie feeling while the story was building Makima up. I was not really a huge fan of the final volume of the series and how it handled some of her character. But at the same time, I feel like it's unfair to judge her character without taking into account what she has done as an antagonist and a thematic foil. I could talk about the rest of its cast like Himeno and Rize, but I feel like I've made my point and I do not want to drag this video more than it needs to. It's your imperfections that make you beautiful. Fujimoto embodies this belief in all his characters and shows off all of their degenerate flaws. There's this sense of equality behind how he writes different genders in a shonen magazine. It could be a hit or miss for people like all the other aspects of Chainsaw Man because it truly is one weird series. But at its core, it's a series with a lot of heart, creativity, and a desire to create new battle shonen tropes. Even though it is unconventional, it still has a lot of things that makes the series super appealing and mainstream in nature. So I genuinely hope that alongside the things that Chainsaw Man is praised for, its usage of female characters will be one of them. Do you guys agree with this video or do you have another opinion? People experience fiction differently and they all take away something different during their experience. Do you think it had a good cast of female characters? I would love to hear everyone's take on this. If you did happen to enjoy this video and got something out of it, please try subscribing to my channel and maybe check out my other videos. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time.